If you're listening to this on the podcast, they were like super close, almost on top of me, listening to me read this story.
Hey, are you ready to open the next cheer chapter? I'm Allison Sack with over 20 years in the cheerleading industry, and somehow I ended up as an author too. I'm here to give it to you straight. No fluff, useful tips, and all the perks from life on the mats and in the books. Whether you're doing the laundry, driving, or just trying to survive, you're in the right place. So grab your coffee or your jug of water and let's turn the next page.
Bit of a change of scene. If you are watching on YouTube, probably wondering where I am. Well, we've had to vacate upstairs because my neighbour started vacuuming the car outside. It was super loud, so with the new mic, it was actually picking it up. So I did not want to have that on the sound for you guys. I wanted to have some better sound quality. So I've gone upstairs as far away from possible and away from the sound. And we're currently in my son's bedroom. So this is where, if we're listening, I'm sitting in my son's bedroom with these Pokemon vibes right now with the LEDs in the background, just because we can. Anyway, today we're going to be talking a little bit about the next two books in the Cheer Diaries series. So the last episode of Cheer Chapters that I spoke about books that I'm currently writing, I was talking about Elodie with book 1. And she goes to team tryouts. So I wanted to talk to you a bit today about book 2 and book 3. So book 2 in the Cheer Diary series. Book 2 is written by Jaden. So Jaden fills out book number 2. And this one's called Cheer Camp. And it's pretty much Jaden's retelling of what it's like going to cheer camp. Now, this one I actually read this week to my youth level 1 team. I read them the first chapter and they were just sitting there like this, listening to me. And it was quite interesting because if you're listening to this on the podcast, they were like super close, almost on top of me, listening to me read this story, and just eyes really wide and the quietest I think they've been in a while, because usually they've got a million stories to tell me. And it was just really cute. And by the time I finished, so I finished the first chapter and they wanted me to keep reading. And I'm like, guys, we got to do class. I can't read anymore. We will literally take up the whole of your class time. But having said that, I wanted to read it to them because they're in that older end of youth, which is the right age bracket for these books. And I wanted to know what they thought, right? Because I still haven't even published the first one at this point in time that I'm recording this. I'm only just about to send them to the editor. So by the time that you're watching or listening or reading about me talking about this, hopefully they will have been published. But at this point in time, this week, I haven't sent them to the editor yet, so I was literally reading them like the raw story. And there's no illustrations, I haven't done the formatting, nothing. So I wanted to know what this group of all girls, because it's an all girl team, they're youth level 1, majority of them are at that upper end, so 9, 10, 11 kind of age bracket. I wanted to know what they thought of the story because this book is written from a boy's perspective. So yeah, I thought it'd be insightful to see what they had to say, and they loved it. They giggled at the bits that I had tried to make funny, which, sometimes I think things are funny, but, not everybody gets my sense of humor, and certainly not on a child level either. So most of the time people just look at me with a blank face. But anyway, they laughed at the right bits, and sometimes they kind of made the right facial expressions and stuff that I kind of wanted them to have those feelings. So that was really cool. And I just love the fact that they liked it, considering it was from a boy's point of view as the protagonist. So that was super cool. And then I was asking them what do they want to, what would they like to see in these cheer diaries? I wanted to read them that chapter, 1, to see if they liked it, 2, is it the kind of right thing? How's their reaction going to be? All those things. And then I also wanted to know what else or what kind of things do they want to see in these kind of novels for that age group. And the things that they asked for was sketches of the character themselves, which of course Nina's going to do for me, so we'll be doing that soon. So we're definitely going to have those, but they also wanted it kind of like a diary. So I was telling them, you know, some diaries are written by Elodie, some are written by Kenzie, some are written by Ava. Like, they're written by different characters that are all part of the same team in the same stunt group and going through the same season, but you're just hearing about that part of a season from a different character. And they were saying, like, they want the characters to have their own expression in the diaries, which is so good because that's along the lines that I was thinking on. So I'm so glad I'm like not so ancient as they like to remind me that I'm old, and still on the right lines with what kids are looking for today. So I really wanted to theme the diaries, keep the like overall branding of the Cheer Diaries consistent, but in filling out the diaries and what is in them, I wanted them to be customized to that character. So the type of handwriting, what kind of doodles they put in there. For the girls, they wanted like a bow looking like it's like been taped into the diary, and like notepads and like things like looking like it's been stuck in the diary or ripped out, and make it look like the diary's actually been customed. So I'm actually, yeah, I love that they want to have that in there, and that's the kind of vibe I was going for anyway. So I'm super excited to, I really enjoy like the designing side of doing the books. Yes, I love the like story side, but as you know, if you've listened to me before, writing is like not my strongest point, and I can only do it for like certain times, and anyway, without waffling on about that, I love doing like the creative side and using the imaginative side and the design and thinking of things, you know. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. So I'll tell you a little bit about the story. So Jaden, he is the back spot on the team. If you do not like spoilers, please do not listen to this episode and just like skip it. If you don't want to know what happens in these books, I'll try not to give you too many things away. But he's the back spot on Comets with Elodie, and he is telling the story. He's got an older sister called Talia, and she's in Supernova, which is senior level 3 team, and yeah, she just annoys him, and it's just that annoying older sister that's like been there, done it, has all the stories, and they've got a quite interesting relationship. They like play pranks on each other, so those are in the stories, of course, and he goes off to camp and she's there too, and there's things that he is trying to prove for himself and to people. He wants to make friends, and it's just description and some funny things that happen along the way at cheer camp. I don't want to tell you too much more because it's kind of gonna ruin the story. At this stage though, I'm like trying to figure out, when I send Nina, my illustrator, what illustrations I want done for these books, like what kind of style. I don't really want to go with the same style that I have for the other books for the younger children, especially because these are just going to be like line drawings. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of drawn to like anime style because I love that, but I'm also drawn to like sketch drawings. I'm pretty hopeless. Hopefully Nina she'll just smash it anyway. I'll just tell her what kind of things I'm looking for. I'm sure she'll come up with something great. By the time you are listening to this or watching it or reading it, hopefully I'll have some examples up that you can see what we've done. So the next book in the story for Cheer Diaries is called Tumble Trouble. And this one's written by Kenzie. Now, Kenzie's like a really strong character in the group. She's probably the strongest and the like most fierce. She's super confident, but she's also like super protective of her friends, and she's like really out there and outgoing. But she has a bit of a block with, not necessarily a block, but she is really confident in her tumble skills and her jumps, and she gets to a section where she thinks she's going to be in that section because she thinks she can do that skill. But when she goes to do that skill, which is a front walkover, she's not able to actually land that skill. And she's got to learn to go through that process of what it actually means to work the drills and the sections and the parts of a particular tumble skill over time, as opposed to just pushing through with force and strength and making tumble skills work. She's actually has to learn to take the time to do those skills. So that story was really fun to write. But I think with her version, with the style of the diaries, I don't feel like she's like as cutesy as what Elodie is. Elodie's like super cute and sweet and like into like glitter and all things shiny. So hers would be super cute like that. Jaden's is like the way that he writes his diary is like typical boy, kind of like, I think his would be like graffitied, kind of a little bit messy, probably a little bit screwed up on some places, probably mistakes, stuff crossed out, that kind of thing. And then whereas I feel like with Kenzie's, hers would probably be more like big shapes and more, not necessarily like graffiti, but definitely not like swirly. For Kenzie, I feel like she's more of a liney type girl and more like highlighted and lines. So I think I'm going to give her that kind of vibe. So that's where they're at with the stories I've actually fully finished at the moment. So the first one is called Team Tryouts with Elodie, and it's the story of how she joins the Comets and who she meets on the team and what that feels like. And then that goes on to Cheer Camp, where Jaden retells the story of them all being together at Cheer Camp and how that goes. And then the next one is written by Kenzie, which is Tumble Trouble. And at that point in time, they've come back from camp and they're trying to put their routine together with their sections that they learned at Cheer Camp and their tumbles and their jumps and who's doing what section and who's going to be in those passes. So that's where they're at currently. The next ones that I have planned to continue the story, I haven't written these ones out in full stories yet. I've literally just got them written out in like little paragraphs with like bullet points of like what the message is going to be, what the overarching part of the story is in the series, where they're at, what part that is what that character is working on and their goals and what their strengths and their weaknesses are and all that kind of thing. So the next one would be written by Ava. And Ava is the flyer and she's super bossy. And she's going to be telling the story of Hit Zero and Showcase. So that's my next one to write. But I'm hoping with this series, once I've got these first 3 out and published, that I'm going to do 3 at a time. I hope. So in theory, that's 3 of these like chapter books / graphic novels. That's 3 a quarter, which I haven't done these before. Like I've never written these before. I've never put them together. It's brand new. So I honestly can't say 100% on the time frame, but if I could do 3 a quarter and bring 3 out, that's quite a lot. I think I could do like 3, 6, 9, 12. That's pretty much between now and then Christmas next year. That should be the whole set published by then. But that's 14 books. It's quite a lot. I do love to come up with these like crazy out there ideas. I've got no idea of how long it's going to take me and what's involved, which is why I'm here today. So there we are. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts and what you think of these books. If you're going to read them, have you read them? Have you seen them? Is this your kind of thing that your child would like or you would like if you're listening to me? I hope I haven't ruined any of the story with some spoilers, by the way. And if there's anything you would like me to put in the rest of the series, please message that to me too, because there's things that I might write down where I'm like, yes, people really want this, so I need to keep it in there. Or you might send me something and be like, oh, and I can fit that in with that story because that works well. And it's always good to hear what people want that are reading the series because I know you're going to enjoy it, right? Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening to my brain dump of the Cheer Diaries series, and I will look forward to speaking to you in the next Cheer chapter. Have a lovely day. Bye.
Thanks for sticking with me until the end of this chapter. I hope you found something useful or at the very least cracked a smile. If you want some more, dive into more episodes, grab one of my books or a freebie at thecheerleaderbookclub.com. Hit me up on socials at the Cheerleader Book Club, and if you have a wild topic you want to hear my take on, send it over. No, really, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you. And on that note, I will look forward to seeing you in the next Cheer chapter.